Are we live?
I think
We
so.
are live.
We're live.
I think we're live. Let's see if the comments are going. Hello, everyone.
Have a look.
Can you see us
Hello.
Hello.
live? Okay, we're live. If the comments are going. Hello, everyone. Whoa, I was having a loop back. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I'm so nervous.
Same.
Oh, we see you all in the chat. Very exciting.
Literally everyone's saying hello. Oh my,
How's everyone
wow.
doing? So our first book for the first live show we're having for the Late Night Book Club. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome. Whoa. Okay.
There we go.
So exciting. So for the first, let's do the first 5 minutes. I would love to know, or maybe the first 10 minutes if we have a lot to say. I'd love for everyone in the comments to like leave your star rating out of 5, but like try to use stars. Like, why not? Let's make the chat a little starry-eyed.
Leave that emoji.
I want to know. We actually kept it a secret, so we don't know
Mhm.
what everyone rated it. So Elias and Joel, what did you guys rate this out of 5?
So out of 5 stars, my rating for this book is, give it a 4 out of 5 stars for me.
Okay.
It wasn't a strong 5. I feel like it didn't hit me as much as it did other people. I get the love and the wonder everyone has for this book, but for me, it's a strong 4 out of 5. It's a wonderful, strong rating. But I didn't cry or anything for this book. I mean, not to say that I had to cry or anything, but for me, I feel like it wasn't as sort of impactful for me. I mean, it was a book that I couldn't put down, but I feel like also I read it in I listened to an audiobook and I read it as well. So I feel like having those two different formats sort of, I don't know. I feel like if I had sat down again and probably reread this and probably fully took it in, maybe a second reread would be like a 5 stars. But for me, 4 out of 5. So
Awesome.
Let's hear it.
Oh, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars.
Oh my god. Let's hear it. Okay.
I sobbed at the end. I sobbed 3 times. This was just so good. Like, I felt for Evelyn Hugo. I felt for her story. I really loved the representation of bisexuality in this. I really loved the kind of representation of kind of biracialness and also the erasure of one's identity through like Evelyn Hugo and her Cuban identity, but also Monique and the fact that she was biracial. I felt like I resonated a lot with Monique on that behalf. And I just felt like it was a very good and strong story overall because the writing was really well done. And also, I think just the way that Taylor Jenkins Reid was able to like build each and every individual character and husband to be distinctive, phenomenal, amazing, wow.
Well, we love that. And I also gave it a 5 out of 5.
Yes.
Okay, here's something I don't really talk about on my channel, but celebrity gossip is my jam, 100%. I love, like, it. I remember when Brad and Jennifer Aniston broke up. Like, it was my life when I was like, so I like loved the idea of like scandal and gossip, but also the glitz of like making movies. And I loved the 2019 Little Women version of the movie. So when then there's like this whole plot line around it, I just loved it so much. And it's the gossip, it's the glitz, it's the glam, it's the 3 Gs, you know what I'm saying? And I had such a fun time reading it. And I agree, Joel, like I cried so hard. I filmed a clip and I was like, we're not putting that in there. I mean, I know that I did it with a little life, but I'm not, no one needs to see me.
No.
So yeah, I took it out.
It's the fact I wasn't expecting the first time I cried, and then I was reading, and then I was like, oh, and then just immediately started sobbing.
I mean, not gonna lie, the waterworks were pretty close to me too, but it just, it just didn't come out, and I was like, it's fine.
Elias, you've talked about this before. You've said that it's hard to make a book make you cry, even though it's fantastic. Like it's hard to get you there. So
yeah, the only two books I've cried recently were A Little Life and The House in the Cerulean Sea, but they just hit different.
It's gonna be a mess.
But a lot of people actually give it like a high rating too. A lot of 5 stars I'm seeing, 4 stars. So glad we're all in line with that.
I love this. So many stars, so many flowers.
Literally. Ooh, so the one comment that said about Hollywood, yes, it is an amazing Netflix show for like the representation of people of color and also LGBTQ plus representation. I loved it. I watched it quite recently, so it's kind of Hollywood. It's on Netflix.
Netflix show.
Got it.
It's really good.
This is being adapted, right?
I think
Stop.
so.
Is it really? Stop.
Yeah.
So.
There was news circulating, I feel like I don't know, last year or something, that it was being adapted into either a movie or a TV show.
Or I think this would work. Oh my! This would work well as a TV show with 7 seasons.
7 seasons.
1 season per husband. Actually, no.
Oh my god.
Actually, maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe
1 season
7
per husband.
episodes.
Maybe. Yeah. But like, I really would want a 2nd season though.
So who would
unless like I follow Monique afterwards. Anyway.
Who would we want to play our Evelyn Hugo if there's an actress?
Oh,
my mind, Kate Blanchett. Like that's who I was thinking of the entire time. Kate Blanchett. So what do we all think? Who would be your perfect?
I don't know. Because it's so hard.
I don't know.
You need like the right. You need like the right actress to play.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then you might.
And also like the right representation too. Like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I mean,
I don't know that many Cuban actresses to like.
People are saying, okay, I'm gonna botch this name. Anna.
Oh, Anna de Armas. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but
I'm not.
Yeah, probably in the earlier life of Evelyn Hugo.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm looking at a picture of her. Yeah. Yes.
Someone said Lady Gaga. Someone said Eva Mendes. I mean, if she ever returns to the movies, am I right? It's been like way too long since Eva's been in the spotlight. So, Margot Robbie, that's cute. But I really like Anna.
Yeah, I can see Margot Robbie as like Celia.
Fan casting. This is great. Don't know.
Scarlett Johansson. I mean, it's up there.
I mean, she can play any of the husbands. That's fine.
Whoa. Okay. All right, Miley Cyrus. And they're making Daisy Jones and the Six a show. I didn't realize.
Yeah, that's coming out, I think, on Amazon.
What do we think? What did we think of Daisy Jones? If you guys have read it,
I haven't read it yet.
Although now I want
so many good things. Yeah, same. Now after reading this, I'm just like, I'll read all of your books.
Literally. Oh, a new book was announced of Taylor Jenkins Reid, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like quite recently.
It's like a house party revolving around a family drama.
Ooh.
So love that.
I thought someone said it had a tie-in to one of Evelyn's ex-husband's sons. Like there was a tie-in from 7 Husbands to this new book. Like one of the characters.
I have no idea.
That would be interesting.
Maybe
it's called Malibu Rising.
There it is. Okay. All right. Let's do this thing. Okay, it's 11:09. We're gonna jump in to spoilers now. So if you have not read the book and you don't want to be spoiled, now's the time to
Goodbye.
But you can
spoiler zone.
We'd love for you to stay and chat with us. See, and now look, let's segue. Someone said, "Who's your favorite husband?" But I think Joel suggested that we actually rate the husbands.
So we're gonna rank the 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Who would we put at the very top? I think we're all agreed on this. There's no question.
There's no question.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Harry number
Harry.
one.
Yes. Harry.
Now
number
what?
one.
I don't know after Harry. I'm like, who's next?
Harry number
Harry-
one.
Ooh.
I really liked the transaction of her and was it Rex? No, not Rex.
Yeah. I think it was Rex.
The one.
Yeah, it was Rex.
Yeah, where
It
it's
was
like,
just before
yeah, you go do your thing and I'll do my thing.
my
and
thing. Yeah.
each other. I liked it because
I like
really
Robert. I like Robert for me as a second, but I perfectly understand.
To be fair, Robert was a good father figure for Connor.
Robert's number two. Then it's got to be Robert.
We could do Robert then Rex.
Okay. And then everyone else doesn't really matter.
Everyone else just I know who should go last though.
Yeah.
Don.
Don 100%. Then I would say
Don and Mick.
the French guy.
True.
Max.
But I feel but
I would
Don
say
was the worst.
Don was the worst.
Yeah, he was the worst.
I'd put Ernie above Don purely because like we just don't see him that much. He just is there, and then Evelyn's like, sorry, I need to build a career. Bye. And then I would probably put Max above that.
Okay. So Don, then who's our sixth?
Ernie.
Okay, and then
the first husband.
Then Max.
Allegedly.
Then I forgot who we put as fourth.
What about Mick?
Oh yeah, Mick can
I
be
would actually put
middleman.
Mick like poor Ernie.
Ernie respected her choice.
my connection sucks. Okay, I've just missed the last 10 seconds. Who can you guys recap? My connection just slowed down. So it's Mick is the Vegas guy. Okay. Yes.
Oh
Excellent.
yeah, got married.
So
and
super
Dawn,
forgettable. It's like a one night
then
stand thing, sort of Vegas.
Okay. Dawn, Mick, Max? No. I didn't like Max because he really used Evelyn for fame.
Yeah, he
so he didn't
did.
love her.
Yeah.
He loved what he could do for her, you know.
And at least like Mick
Which-
wasn't like something emotionally involved. It was just more of like a one night stand type of thing. Like in the moment, like they both sort of manipulated each other.
That's true.
So Dawn, Max.
I forgot literally some of the other husbands. Right. I just know that the top
This is
Harry, Robert, and Rex. So
Yeah.
those are
our top
basically the
three.
three men that matter. Or Harry's pretty much the only one that matters. So
Yeah.
Don't really care about literally when I first read this book, I mentioned to the other two hosts earlier, but I didn't even realize how gay this book would be. I literally just thought it was all about the 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And in a way it was, but in a way it wasn't. And my mind was like, it was so gay and I fucking loved it. It was amazing, incredible. So that's just like my little tidbit there. So
No,
like, I was shocked. And the audiobook, so good. Like if you guys are still here and you guys haven't read the book yet, listen to the audiobook. The narrators do such a great job with like there are so many different voices and everything like that too. So
the audiobook was excellent. I loved the voice for Evelyn and I loved Monique. Like whenever we went back to Monique's voice, I was like, okay, we're home, we're grounded. I feel safe again because I don't know what's out of Evelyn's mouth. So how did we all feel about Monique? Like how was she as a character for all of you? And I don't know, I saw some comments that were saying Monique didn't need to really be there. I personally really enjoyed Monique's section because it didn't distract from the story, but it definitely was like, here are decisions that I'm making because I've seen this woman's story and now I'm making decisions for myself. And I enjoyed that. So.
No, I'm the same. I think that Monique was a very much needed character because it's kind of like showing kind of like an outsider perspective to Evelyn's life, like we all are. Because I think if we had read it like from a first person point of view, it would have been, I think we would have been probably rooting for Evelyn all the way. But because we see it from Monique's point of view as well, we kind of see some of the bad things Evelyn does and like the reasons why she does it. And I think as well, it kind of gives Monique a stronger standpoint in the novel because obviously she's a biracial woman trying to get her way in the industry. And I think Evelyn can kind of see that as like someone who has kind of like whitewashed herself in order to succeed in the industry. So she's like, I'm just going to put a foot out for someone else so that they don't have to hide who they are in order to succeed.
Well said. I agree. I feel like she stood very well on her own without living underneath, like, without her parts in the book being like brushed away or under Evelyn's shadow. I really enjoyed her character arc, and I feel like it amplified Evelyn's story in a way because, you know, they're all connected. So, yeah, I really enjoyed Monique as a character. I liked her, and I liked her her growth in the novel through Evelyn. So
yeah. There was also a comment that said like Monique was a good palate cleanser, which makes so much sense because I think you can't really digest Evelyn all at once. And I just loved how we kind of had those breaks with Monique and Evelyn, like as a 70-year-old woman, kind of reflecting in hindsight upon her life, where she's like, "Oh, I don't regret anything, but like I'm sorry for what I did," or kind of Monique getting life advice from Evelyn.
And she grounded us, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. I loved that exactly what that person commented, like that it was a palate cleanser and how you'd kind of get lost. But I agree with what you were saying, Joel, about how Monique kind of brought us out of the glitz for a second and reminded us that it's not just someone that you're reading their life about. You're actually taken out and you're like, but remember, this is a famous person who's intimidating and has this life, and I am just watching them and I'm being dazzled by them while also being infuriated by them. And I really, really enjoyed Monique's section, actually. I really loved it. So this is because we're talking about Monique.
Can you talk about the twist?
I have a question.
Okay.
If you were Monique, would you have kept the information about her father in the book or out of the book, ignored it, lied about it? What would we... Because when you're reading it, you get all the information, right? So I was kind of reading it as, oh, this is the book that has been published, right? Like that's kind of how I was reading.
Yeah.
So then when she comes towards the end of the novel with this information and has to decide, am I going to out the secret? Am I going to keep my father's life private so that I don't hurt my mother? Would you have kept it in or not?
So for me, this is just my answer, but I feel like whatever she decided to do beforehand, I feel like it has heavily to do with her mother. I would have talked, if I was Monique, I would have been like, hey, Mom, I want to talk to you about something. Because the biggest takeaway for me is that Monique's father wanted to stay in the end with his family, you know, instead of leaving to go find his own happiness with another man. And I feel like being a father was more important to him. And I feel like that standing point right there is the most important thing for Monique and his wife, knowing that even though he wants to go somewhere else, he's there to support both of them. And I feel like having both of them knowing that knowledge, I feel like would have some sort of closure. And I feel like putting it later in the book would tell people that he wasn't just a drunk who just crashed and died, but he was actually somebody who made a choice, and his death was resulted because of another choice, you know. So I feel like in a way I would have talked about it first, and then in the end I would probably have included it in the book just to let everyone know, because, you know, he died already and everything, but I would have let everyone know his story, his legacy, you know, because of his standing moment to choose to stay with his wife and daughter as a father. And I think that was I feel like that was really strong for me. So that's just my tidbit. So.
No, I completely agree. I think it's kind of something I've been like ruminating about ever since like Noelle was like, what would you do? And like whilst it's like it's definitely personal for the father because obviously it's his identity at the end of the day, but I think personally I would probably keep it in purely because, like you said, Elias, like I think it gives him kind of the closure that everyone deserves. Like, kind of, he wasn't a drunk drive. Well, he was drunk, but like he wasn't as bad as like everyone could have thought he was. And it's Monique being like, "This is my father," but at the same time, I think it kind of gives his like her father the opportunity to kind of be like known about his identity as a queer black man and kind of maybe be immortalized as kind of a queer black man whilst not actually, well, he's dead, so unfortunately, but it kind of gives him that opportunity to be free and open with his identity.
Yeah. Well, I thought I knew my answer, and, and now I was kind of like, because I know what it's like to kind of protect a parent from information that might hurt them, right? So I've had to deal with that myself. And so to me, it's like, well, why would Monique tell her mom? Because they have that. I mean, it's an interesting placement, right? Because at first I thought, well, of course, tell the mom, like be honest with the identity and tell them everything. But then at the end, when she asks, like, how was he as a husband? And she says, and you know, her mom says, oh, well, I really loved him and we were soulmates. And then I thought, is it worth telling her to hurt her like that, right? But you're absolutely right. Like then he can live in his true identity. So it's like I wish that the letter itself to Monique could have said, you can. I mean, like, is there a story?
Yeah,
is
like,
there something?
Oh, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, I don't know. I thought the mother sort of knew or like had some inkling. That's why I'm just like all for it. But you know, just thinking about both of your answers, I'm not going to take it back or anything. But I was just like, oh, that's just a really another way of putting it. So.
I had in my mind, I thought the twist was going to be like the dad was the final husband or something, because like I was like, there is something that's coming up that like links it to the story, and I was like, what if the dad was the final husband, but then like they just got divorced and he like remarried and then died later on? But no, it was something else completely, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I was not expecting, like, I literally thought my theory was that Monique is related to Evelyn in some way. That's why she like feels bad or something. Like she's one of the granddaughters or like some relation in some way, obviously. But I was not expecting this twist to happen as it did. I don't know, because I feel like we are missing such a key vital information until we get to that point of the book. Until then, it's all up in the air. It could be anything, but you know, so it was a good twist.
With me and the twist, everyone told me that there would be a twist. So then I thought, like, just take me away. I'm not even going to try to figure it out because there's no way to figure this out. So when it actually happened, I like gasped, sat up, could not believe it. Like to me, the first twist was that Harry was gone, right? Like to me, that shocked me. I didn't think that was going to happen. I should have known. This Is Us, so I should have known sadness is always around the corner. But I definitely was not expecting Harry's death. And then when the actual twist, so when that happens, I was like, it's not really a twist. Like that's sad. But I mean, like, you know, things happen. I didn't see it coming, but it didn't twist the story around. And then it comes. And I was so shocked. And it was so like, I had almost froze up. And then I'm reading Monique's reaction to it. And it's so hard for me to process her anger because I'm still so shocked by it. And I mean, that's probably what was intended because Monique's having a hard time grasping it, right? So she's sitting there with this information while also still in front of Evelyn. I was also so shocked. I mean, obviously for the story, yes, she has to go to the photo shoot the next day. No, thank you. I am not going to the photo shoot the next day. I need to go cry forever about this, and I can't go and act like everything's okay. So I understand why it happened, but it would have been hard.
Yeah, definitely. It was when you said like sadness is around the corner, and then I just flashed back to Evelyn going around the corner, and I was just like, it really was.
Oh, when the daughter died? Yes. When that happened, I was like, why did she's kind of talking about her daughter in the past tense. And maybe it's just because she's telling an old story. And I was like, but it's fine. Like she's still around. And then when that happened. I thought, oh my God, someone just said True Blue. Don't make me cry on camera right now. I can't do this right now. Lulu, I can't. True Blue. I can't.
What's True Blue?
Right now. What Harry and Evelyn say to each other, like, it's you and me, True Blue, like their feelings for each other. They're true with each other.
Oh, I see.
True Blue.
When Harry leaves us.
I feel like the daughter was mentioned in the beginning of the book, like how her passing.
Because she said everyone I've loved is dead.
Yeah.
So she's like, I have no secrets anymore. No one can kill me. No one can come after me.
That's why it didn't hit me as hard. I feel like,
I feel like it was still shocking to me personally because like it kind of happened, and then it was when I think Evelyn was like, I broke like I've never broken before, or like I've broken the most that I've ever broken before, and it was just shattering because
losing a child,
because like I don't know how it feels like to lose a child, but I can't even imagine the pain that Evelyn went through. And like it was when I think her and Harry were like, Connor's the only exception to like everything.
Yes.
And so like it was just awful.
My lipstick smeared.
Oh no.
So everyone's saying that I should have known that the daughter died, and I'm feeling a little foolish now. Everyone.
Nah, it was like a very small piece.
Okay, let's see. I had a list of questions, and we've gone off from that now, and so now I'm trying to think.
Favorite moments, favorite parts in the book. Like, what was your favorite? Like the one scene stealer in the whole entire book.
Ooh.
I think for me, well, there were several, but if I had to choose one, it would probably be the scene where Evelyn fucking chips her tooth, kissing the TV.
Oh, yeah.
When Tia gets nominated. It was so cute. It was so funny because it was just, I love them. But yeah, that's probably my favorite scene. It was just like one of those happy moments.
What's interesting is that you say that part, and then I loved it even more when then in the acceptance speech.
That's what I was about to get to. Because like, don't go chipping your turf. Just like, oh.
It was beautiful.
I'm trying to think of like my favorite scene, and it's like hard because there's so many. Like I have so many green tabs in this book. Like, I think the one that I think I really liked was when Evelyn was kind of, I think it was Monique she was explaining it to, because Monique was like, do you think your sexuality kind of made you disloyal? And then Evelyn was like, no, like I was disloyal because I was a bad person. Like my sexuality had nothing to do with it. And I was like, thank you for like dismissing those stereotypes, because I just think it was I think I really liked that scene. But also I think it was when Evelyn discovered that Celia was a lesbian, and so like everything kind of like started forming together in her brain, and she was just like, I'm gonna go find her.
Yeah, literally when she first told Celia I love you, the book could have just ended there and I would have been perfectly happy. I was like, that's it, I don't need to know anything else. Like, I love you, great, I love it, that's it.
It was the picnic scene for me, that when at the end of the that was so good timing. It was the picnic scene, and like where they were like all happy and stuff, and then Evelyn was like, I ruined everything after this, and I was just like, oh no.
Yes, I was literally on cloud 9 at the picnic. I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And then she says she ruins it, and I was like, why do you do these things? I am furious. And I didn't know what you've done yet.
I was like, come on, Evelyn, please don't ruin it. And then I don't think it was entirely her fault for like ruining it, but that's it. I think it was definitely not just
she had the tight emotion. Yeah
I absolutely agree. I loved the picnic scene. I also loved the scene when Evelyn and Celia go out for milkshakes, And
Yeah,
like lays
The
down
first
the law, and she's like, "You're using me, and I'll use you, and that's all it is." And like just lays it out. And then from there, and then Celia's like, "No, I want to be your friend. Like that's what I want. Like I don't want a Ruby friend," which I thought was cool. And I thought it was interesting how Ruby kept popping back in, and how annoyed I was when she'd pop in. And then when you find out what happens with her and Dawn, and then you're super sad for Ruby.
yeah.
And also angry at Evelyn for, I don't know, I guess talking to Ruby about it, but how do you say it? Within the clause of her divorce, you know. But I guess
I like how you. I liked how both of you guys picked like really impactful scenes. And I'm like, she just kissed the TV. No biggie. She just chipped a tooth. Whatever.
What did we think about Celia as a character? Like, how did we love? Did we hate? I mean, there was moments of both of those feelings for me.
Yeah.
Like, ooh,
Celia,
yes.
I liked her, but I felt like she was a bit biphobic for like the beginning parts, because I know in the latter part she kind of knows then that Evelyn's bisexual, but in the beginning she kept referring to Evelyn as a lesbian, and I was like, no, that's not correct. But I think that Celia as a character was really funny. She was also really well developed in the fact that she like knew that she wanted to be an actress, but I felt like a lot of the time she just also didn't know what she wanted, and that she didn't feel like she had the confidence to say what she wanted out loud. Because when I think Evelyn was confronting her about like if she wants to be an actress, and then she's like, well, I don't know, I can leave it all behind. But then Evelyn's like, you want an Oscar though? And Celia's like, well, yeah. And it's just like, I don't think Celia was very grounded in who she wanted to be until like very later on. But she did grow a lot. And I think basically in like her later stages of life, and particularly like near her death, she kind of really grounded herself as a character. And I guess that's what comes with maturity and kind of like looking past your past life experiences. So
Totally agree. I feel like I didn't really like her as a character in the beginning, but she sort of grew on me, and I feel like she's one of the most like I really liked her character, probably most impactful for me in the book, because she was her morals. I mean, she was such a great character and very realistic in terms of, how she was written, the outlook, her opinions on certain things, because she's like she's literally a character where like I talk to real people like in the daily. So it was really interesting. And I also liked how, the queer relationship was portrayed. It wasn't perfect. It was, as relationships go, as same as every relationship, it was imperfect. And just like on Celia herself, she was like imperfectly perfect, not perfect, but
yeah,
she was just like an imperfect character for me and very realistic. So
I absolutely agree. I love that it wasn't like Evelyn went and had these horrible relationships and then Celia was like the saving grace that never did anything wrong. I definitely liked that there were arguments and fights. I will agree. I was seeing a lot of comments talking about how mean Celia could be to Evelyn, and one of the moments was like when she says that
she
she's
have a lot of faults.
Just bare tits. I was like,
yeah.
I was
mad at her. When
it bleeds into her career and her confidence, and I was hurt.
It was when Celia called her a whore, and I was just like, whoa. I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
That moment, I was fuming. I was like, Celia, can you show up for the redheads for a second? I am furious with you. I was so upset. And I agree. A lot of people are saying some of you love her, some of you hated her. She was definitely cool when she was hurt, but I mean, I feel like a lot of us are when we're hurt, right? Like it's easy to want to hurt when we're hurt. Although I could never imagine hurting in the same way that Celia does. Like she knows, it's like she's almost been sitting on it. Like she knows what she's gonna say when it comes time to hurting Evelyn, and that's what. Like, how do you know it so perfectly? Like, there must be so much truth behind what she's saying and how she sees Evelyn, because it's like so precise and it cuts her so deep, in my opinion. But
I feel like when she hurts, she knows how to hurt back. And but on the contrary, I really liked their relationship, like as a whole, especially towards the end. When they're soulmates and they get married, on the very last scene that they're together.
You're okay, and then you bring me back to that, Elias. I'm like, okay, well, then
I love her.
It's like a very like grounded relationship with like lots of faults. Like Evelyn wasn't perfect either. She did a lot of things that again, morally great. I really like these characters. They were very very well written, fleshed out. That they did things that were like, why would you do that? Like, why would you say that? But it's very realistic. It's what makes them, I guess, human. So
yeah.
But the marriage scene, oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, so cute.
It was beautiful. I loved that moment. It like brought me back to the milkshake scene. It's just the two of them, and we're just having this intimate moment with them. And I don't know, the way that Evelyn talked about Celia, that was like whenever Celia was bad, like whenever she was mean, but then Evelyn would talk about just the connection, the soulmate, the like love she felt. I was always like, okay, well, I mean, it made me love her again.
Reflecting. It's like, it was when that doesn't bother me. I still love you.
Literally, it was when she was talking about soulmates to Harry, and she was like, "Oh, if we have more than one soulmate, obviously you're one of mine too."
Oh, no. Their friendship was everything. I love their friendship together.
Literally. It was when they were like, we have to tell each other everything, and then Harry was like, do we? And then they didn't, but then they both made a pact to do it, and it was just like, oh god.
Absolutely. Me and my best friend, we say that to each other, like that we all have more than one soulmates, and then me and her are soulmates. Like that's how we address each other. And it's so when I read that part,
cute.
Speak for me. I love this. We love a best friend soulmate kind of relationship. And then I also like when Harry was like, I've always secretly wanted to sleep with Evelyn. I was like, oh my god, Harry.
I was like, saucy.
Oh.
Harry was just the purest. I feel like of all the characters, he's probably like the best. Like wholeheartedly.
The boyfriend.
In his honor, yeah.
They were. What was his name? The football.
Oh, what was his name?
Wow, terrible. I can't remember his husband's name. Well, it starts with the B, right? It started with the B.
I'm waiting for someone to say it.
Yeah, say it. I'm just like, does anybody know?
His name was John.
Okay, Jay. I was way off.
Oh my god.
Oh.
But when John died, John. Everyone's like John. When John died, and then Harry just like descended into despair, I was like, no, please don't do this to me.
But then I love that Connor was like the one, like was anything that he would be good about, it was being a father to Connor. I loved that. Also, Connor is a beautiful name. I loved that.
Also, it was when Harry was like, they had their routine going, like he'd come and make breakfast, Evelyn would come down with and then with Connor, they'd have their thing, and then Celia comes back and makes oatmeal, and it's just like, yeah, this is my breakfast. And I was just like,
let her have her eggs. It's okay. Damn.
She can have her cake and eat it too. Like, come on. It was just the oatmeal.
I'm a nursing mother. I need my eggs.
Literally. And then it was just when Harry and Evelyn were like, this oatmeal is shit, but we're gonna have to eat it anyway.
I love oatmeal and I hate eggs, and that scene almost changed me.
Wait, you hate eggs? I'm the opposite, Noelle. I hate oatmeal and I love eggs.
Oh no, it's the gooey.
Give me the protein, please.
Like I had a babysitter that gave me runny, salted, cold eggs every morning, and we had to finish the eggs, and so it ruined it for me.
Like oatmeal is so bland.
Oatmeal,
but this.
The possibility. Oatmeal is just the starting point. You have the base, and I had the best. There was like a berry compote. I still think about it. Like whenever it opens, I'm going to Galway and I'm getting that oatmeal. Elliot,
can't relate.
We're meeting Joel and we're gonna have a bowl of oatmeal all together, eggs on the side. You know what I'm saying?
And I'll eat it with a fake smile on my face, just for you. I love how this discussion went all the way from Ellen Hugo to oatmeal and eggs.
Oatmeal versus eggs. Who's the real winner?
talking about
gosh.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I'm trying to think. Like I personally really liked the moments of tabloid articles because to me,
Yeah, incorporated in.
yeah, it like grounded because as I said, I love this book because of the tabloids and the gossip. But then when I was reading it, I was like, you guys don't know what's going on. You have no idea. You're just you're writing the story of the story they're constructing for you, like the lies that people are, feeding.
Oh my god, that was it. It was when Evelyn kind of came up with this whole master plan about getting married in Vegas and all of that. And then she was like, yeah, this is how it's going to happen. This is how it's going to work. This is what's going to happen. And then it'll go exactly according to plan. And I was like, you mastermind.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just really, just gives you like an outlook on like even in like magazines and everything, like tabloids today, of people, of like real people who are actors, and this just gave me like a really good understanding of, even if you're like really rich, if you're an actor, you're famous, you're still being used. Everyone is using literally each other. You're like literally a pawn in this whole network of like Hollywood, trying to go up this ladder. And then at a certain point, even when Evelyn like reached her peak, there were other people, and all this life of like glitz and glam. There will be people, other girls that are fresh, newer, better. So it's just like, in this Hollywood world today, like, I just give appreciation for those people, and we never know what's going on behind the scenes. Like they have a bigger, not responsibility, but like, I don't know what the word is, but I'll probably think of it later. But they're all manipulated.
That whole conversation about like how Evelyn was defined by her looks, and then age changed that in Hollywood, and how she was insecure around the younger actresses, which I already think is something like everyone talks about how women can't age gracefully. Like in Hollywood, it's always talked about their age, whereas men get more handsome, which is something that Evelyn said about Harry. She's like, I hate that gets more handsome with age. And so hearing that whole conversation where Evelyn is kind of like, well, I should have gone to the Academy Awards, but I was too insecure because I've always been about my looks, and now everyone's talking about my crow's feet or whatever it is. I just thought, wow, like even though you are such a talented actress, or like even if you have respect from people, at the end of the day, you don't want to go to this huge moment for people because of how you look now. And I just thought it was really sad.
Yeah.
Something I think about a lot.
It was just really kind of awesome to see like kind of how they showcase like the beauty standards between like men and women, and kind of how all that worked. And I just love the book. I just love everything inside.
Yeah, so someone actually mentioned in a comment that pretty summarized what I was thinking of. Like the book had a really great commentary on the role and basically standards set upon women, and especially not just women, but like also like people of color as well, like in the entertainment industry. Even though we are doing a little like marginally better now, it's just we still have a lot of steps to take to make it better still. So that's just like an interesting tidbit. It was just Izzy here who said that. So
no, I definitely agree, because like Evelyn gives up a lot of her heritage during the book to pursue a career in Hollywood, and I think that it's a lot of things that have been kind of discussed like in Hollywood and kind of the wider media, how like
erasure,
erasure of like color, and how like blackface and all of that. I think it's really kind of important to see like the sacrifices that Evelyn made, but then also kind of near the end where she goes to Spain and kind of starts regaining parts of her identity. I think that was also really good, because it's kind of like now that she's got away from all of like the drama and the glamour and everything, she's finally free to be fully herself. Not Evelyn Hugo, Evelyn Herrera, I think her name was.
Yeah, it was.
She's free to be she's free to be Evelyn Herrera as opposed to Evelyn Hugo. So
and what I loved is that once she got to Spain and she started, accepting herself as who she truly was when she was at her happiest. Like right, she talks about how excited she is that she's starting to speak Spanish again. And I thought, this is such like, she's in Spain with her daughter, with the love of her life. She like her daughter finally has this really great role model, like fatherly role model. And now she's really trying, like she's really becoming who she's meant to be and like her authentic self. And I just absolutely loved that it was at her most peaceful, loving moments in her life that she felt happiness in all avenues of who she is. Right?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to bring it up to the audience if they have any questions for us or anything?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
you guys have it.
If you guys have any questions for us regarding the book or whatnot, ask away.
We have 15 minutes left. So
That is, the time has gone by so quickly.
seriously, I was like an hour.
What are we going to fill it with? And then, we got a few about Don's character.
Yeah.
And whether we think he deserves redemption or not. I'm going to go solidly with no.
Thank you.
Because he's abusive. He was an abuser. He abused multiple women. At the end of the day, he shouldn't look for redemption from anyone. He shouldn't look for forgiveness from anyone because he doesn't deserve it. He's got to live with that for the rest of his life and probably did. He can atone for it through multiple actions, but I don't think he should ever be like forgiven for it because at the end of the day, it's up to the respective women alone to choose whether they want to forgive him or not and redeem him. But personally, I wouldn't. And it's just something that I don't know. I think that it's just easier for him if they forgave him straight away, but he really needs to kind of regret and atone for what he did. So no, he doesn't deserve forgiveness at all. Doesn't deserve redemption.
When Evelyn says the reason why you feel this bad is because things didn't go well for your career, and he's like,
yeah,
it's probably right. I was like, okay, well then you still suck. Like you're trying to get redemption, but you're also admitting that if your life was still going well, you wouldn't feel bad, you know?
Yeah.
And I guess that makes sense. Like something had to, you know, catapult him into self-realization and like really taking a look at himself. But it was just hard for me to hear him like say he was so sorry and like kind of believe him. And then she's like, you're really only sorry because things aren't going well for you. And he's like, oh yeah, kind of. I was like, wait, I wish you would just say you were sorry and really mean it and don't on your career at all.
I agree. A lot of questions are asking about Dave and Monique. What do you guys think about that relationship and how it ended?
I think Monique was very mature in the way that she ended things because she knew that they both were going in separate directions. She knew that what she wanted was vastly different to what Dave wanted. And I think that if she had stayed with him, she would have been unhappy because I think learning from Evelyn's life, like I think that's the main takeaway that she learned from Evelyn, like what she experienced. I think Monique really saw that she needs to put herself first and her career first in order to be happy. And so I think that's why she ended things with Dave and was really like fully right in the decision to do so.
Yeah, so, I agree. There was actually a quote that Evelyn, I believe, said to Monique. She said, divorce is just a piece of paper, but heartbreak is real, which I think can be related to both relationships. But I felt like that was really strong because I also could relate to that in my own personal life. And I feel like Monique's relationship, her character growth to realize that at the end was such a strong point. And I really liked how it ended, both amicably, you know, for both of them as well. You know, there wasn't any ill intent or anything, but them realizing that they weren't the right fit together, you know, maturely and everything like that. So, yeah.
I mean, I think this comment just
literally, I was about to mention that.
Plain oatmeal, absolutely. Yeah. And we know what oatmeal can be, and we know what Monique's love life could have been. And I don't know. I absolutely agree. I think David and Monique deserved so much, and she had so much passion and so much drive. And then when David.
Both, yeah.
We're gonna call him Plain Oatmeal. When Plain Oatmeal, and he's like, and then he like gives the coffee table back. I'm like, I mean, I guess, like, what? Like, it's already done. What are we talking about? Okay.
I was literally like, why the coffee table? Like, it was just like, hi, here's the last lingering attachment we have. Like, okay.
And so I loved the idea of when she says, like, I just didn't want to be a failure. Like, I just didn't want to get a divorce because I didn't want to fail at something. Totally. Like, great. That's a great explanation. And then I didn't really know because she had seemed so sad at the beginning of the book. And then once he tries to fix things and she's like, well, shouldn't we be trying to fix things because of how much we love each other, not just because we don't want to fail? I was like, that's about it. So I absolutely, I loved that. Because especially, like, I feel like Monique, her character growth arc was really cool. Watching like her strength and her empowerment around her job and what she wanted for her life was really cool to watch. And so thinking that, like, okay, clean slate from a marriage that wasn't fueling me, starting on this really amazing path of like being a head writer. Was it head writer at Vivant?
Yeah, head writer.
They were, because she wanted to be head editor, but they were like,
she wanted to be head editor, yeah.
They were like, no, we can only give you head writer. And I was literally like, screw them. I was like, take your money. And then I think Zoe said that she could probably buy 200 coffee tables with the amount of money she's going to get from Evelyn's book. So plain oatmeal, bye.
Like, did you fly from San Francisco with the coffee table? Because it like showed up fast. Like, how did it get there with a note on top? What just happened?
It was when, going back to like the scene where like plain oatmeal's trying to like solve everything and he's just like, we should work this out. It's when Monique kind of realizes, oh, like, you didn't say like, I miss you, I love you, and all of this. It's like, no, you just want to work things out because it would be just a nice arrangement for the both of us. But it's like, no, a relationship should be about love and how you feel about someone rather than it being comfortable. Like, I think it's the one thing to take away from this book. I think like love is worth pursuing if it like it's worth all the risk, because obviously Evelyn and Celia go through risks and like they fail in like taking the leap, but then they finally do and they're happy for a time. And I think it's like about taking those risks, which is why Monique's just like, no, you don't love me, you just love the idea of us being together.
And I love that Monique was like, there's different types of love. Maybe I won't have the passion of Evelyn and Celia. Like, maybe I'll find my Celia, but also maybe I'll find someone like my dad or like Harry, who's just like a soulmate who takes care of me and I can take care of. I liked that she wasn't just trying to say like, you need that passion, you need that head over heels love. I'll find love in a way that it fits my life. And I really loved that. I thought, Monique, you deserve anything you want and you will get it. Trust me.
Yeah.
The most asked question right now is, what do you guys think of Evelyn's suicide? Would you, what would you have done in Monique's case? Would you have stopped? Would you have done what she did, or what would you do? I think that's a very,
loaded question. I think if I tried to stop Evelyn, she would try and do it again, because Evelyn, we know, loves everything on her own terms. She's very controlling in that fact that everything needs to be by her own terms. And so I think that personally, I probably wouldn't have stopped her, because breast cancer is a bitch. And so I think it would probably give Evelyn the rest that she deserves and the rest that she like needs. And so it's kind of also her. It's just, it's just.
I agree. She, like someone said in the comments, she died as she lived. She lived a full life, and with that, knowledge and experience, and having finally succumbed to a cancer, that she was going to die, but on her own terms. And I feel like at the end where Monique said that she said that she felt like if she stopped or went back into stop Evelyn, it felt like it would have been a betrayal. And I understand that in a degree. So I did feel
like she was going to do it right at the beginning, where she was like, I'm gonna die after we're done, because I was like, how do you know for certain? And there's only like one way you'd know for certain, if it's like, but then you had the breast cancer thing, but I was like, nah, like this is Evelyn Hugo we're on about. So
yeah, someone actually Paper Backcastle made a really good point, saying she was of sound mind and she had the right to make that decision. And
that's true.
Yeah, so obviously we never want to romanticize taking your own life. So
yeah.
But I completely agree, Elias, with what you said about she lived her life by her terms, and her death was by her terms. And
Mhm.
I really, like, I agree with you, Joel, too. Like, I think that stopping her wouldn't have actually stopped her. It would have stopped her in that moment. I did like how Monique really warred with herself, right? She's sitting there and she
Mhm.
doesn't know, and she just keeps going back and forth because, like, you know, how does she live with this decision moving forward? But then she admits, like, Evelyn knows what she wants, and Evelyn will not forgive me if I do this, right? Like, this
Yeah.
is what Evelyn wants, and I'm
Mhm.
going to respect that. But it is really tough. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. But I love all these discussions that we're having, especially some of the answers too. They're all very, very
Mhm.
nuanced and well said. So
oh yeah,
Well,
someone just said she had a terminal illness, she lived a full life, and she did things on her own terms. Like, you know, I think that she thought, like, well, I could either suffer through this or
mhm.
go when I'm ready to go. And she, as they said, like, she had lived a full life. So
Yeah. The one thing
someone,
I wish I could have seen from this novel is Evelyn's version of Little Women.
oh my gosh, yes.
I like
Yeah.
seeing. I think it would just would have
Little
been
Woman.
awesome just
Because
to
also
see like
Celia's in there too. So
yeah as Beth.
we would
So
have
it's
seen
like it's just like oh, it would have been so good.
what I
yeah,
love
I
is
would
when, like, they say, like, right when Celia starts, like, her first scene, they, like, know she's
Mhm.
gonna get an Oscar for it, and, like, it's all about her. And I was like, I wish I could see the two of them come together, and, like, just how much, like, because Joe is my favorite in Little Woman, and then you
Mhm.
have Beth, and I just thought that powerhouse, the sadness, but also the joy, like, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
yeah, so many people were asking what we just answered, like, what fictional movie would you have picked? And I think we all agree it would be Little Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Bouton
Uh,
is that? Does anyone speak
yeah, the
French?
French movie that she was in that skyrocketed
oh
her
yeah.
career. I think that would have been interesting too, because that so many speculations about that the last shot, that
Mhm.
so many people like were just either love to hate or hate to love, you know? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my friends, we have 4 minutes left. Or sorry, almost 3 minutes left. So I thought let's discuss our next month's book choice for October.
Mhm.
We'll have another live stream at the end of October on Elias's channel. We will announce the live stream for that closer to the end of the month. We have to figure out, like, when it works for both of us, or both of us, for all of us. Let's discuss.
the next book we're reading is The Secret History by Donna Tartt.
Have
Oh
any
wow.
of us
This writing's terrible. There you go.
Pardon?
Dark academia for October, folks.
have any of us read this book already?
Nope.
No.
Okay, thank the Lord. Me neither.
Really interested to see this because I didn't realize how old this book was, or is, not was. This book was like
Same.
written in like 1992 or published in 1992, I believe.
What?
When it was first published. Yeah, so I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Because
This
I
book is
think
older than
Elias
me.
has the 25th anniversary edition in his hands.
Yeah. I do.
25 years.
25 years.
Oh
So
my-
this book is basically old as I am, and I'm pretty excited because it means that we won't, see sort of the same cultural like aspects in our like recent timeline. So I think that'll be really interesting, and I'm really excited because murder, mystery, and pretentious people who are like studying Latin philosophy. What could go wrong? So I'm really excited about this one.
You guys read The Goldfinch?
No,
I have not.
but I heard
I
the movie was
It
terrible. So.
was a long bitch. So I am interested to see how this one
How
compares.
long is this?
I think it's like
These
600-ish.
feel like
600 pages.
pages. They are the thinnest things I've ever felt in my life. So we'll see. 22 hours. The audiobook is 22 hours.
Wow. Well, better get
Ooh,
started
yes.
then.
I can't wait. It like the pages just feel really nice as well. Like I can't explain.
Smell dark
how much-
academia. I can see myself going back to school, getting my master's,
Stop.
graphic design.
I'm in school. Right, I'm gonna put this back on my head.
And we have announced November and December as well. We're brainstorming on January, February, and March right now. So let us know what you guys would like us to read, although we do have some pretty fun ideas coming up. So
It's pretty floppy. So the one person asked how floppy the book is.
oh,
I think, Noelle, yours is the only US edition. Joel and I have like the both UK.
UK. Oh. And to the, I saw a comment earlier. We are reading in October, One by One by Ruth Ware, and we're doing that.
Oh
with
yes, in line
Taylor's
for Literally Dead Book Club. So we're joining her, which is exciting, for the month of October, in reading a mystery thriller, so that we can join her live show, I believe, in early November. Dates to be determined, but very excited for that one as well. 2 clubs together.
well, we've hit the top of the hour, and
this is great.
This has been so much fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming and discussing Evelyn Hugo with us, 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Can't wait to do it again for The Secret History.
It's going to be so much fun, honestly.
so excited. And it'll be on Ellias's channel next month, and then Joel's channel in November. So exciting. See you guys around. Thanks for joining us on this live. Love you all. See you around.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.